Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, May 6th. So the moon is still very much in her place of power, in her place of comfort, in Cancer energy. Of course, this has us a little bit more introverted, a little bit more in our inner realms than we have been in the past little bit, because we really have a lot to process, a lot to review, especially in our heart space. This moon in Cancer is very focused on our home, on our family dynamics, really reviewing past situations, past scenarios. Although we are very attached to the past and have a tendency to romanticize that past, we are doing so because we are preparing ourselves to make some major changes. This particular energy definitely has us kind of looking for a quiet place in our environment, in our inner realm, in order to really connect with our higher self, with our intuition, with our gut on what it is that we need to be doing, what it is we need to move away from, and what it is that we need to be moving closer to. There are 10 different aspects taking place today, and 9 of them involve this moon. So after yesterday, which was quote unquote relatively quiet, we had some situations pop off that are definitely putting us in a reflective mode, a review mode. We definitely have to get down to the nitty gritty on what it is that our heart and gut are telling us to do. And a lot of this is due to the home, the relationship dynamic, changing very rapidly. And of course, we are in retrograde and eclipse season, which means that things are just a whirlwind. We are at the mercy of the cosmos, trying to show us where the chaotic energy is leading us to doing the shadow work that is needed in preparation for some major changes, some major transformations taking place, first within our inner realm, second with our external realm. So right out of the gate, we have the moon in Cancer squaring Chiron, the wounded healer. The square is always a tension point, always a conflict. And right now, because we are kind of introverted, sitting with ourselves, looking for that quiet space to review all that has transpired in our heart space, this is definitely going to highlight some of the not so nice thoughts, some of the not so nice feelings within us, in order for us to recognize where the wounds are alive and well, what is asking for our attention, for that healing energy first and foremost, and what it is that we have to do in order to actually heal it. The moon goes ahead and sextiles Uranus. This is a beautiful energy because this Uranian energy likes to just almost pop a new perspective in our head. It is connected to the higher realms of intelligence. So all of a sudden, as we're sitting inside of ourselves, reviewing, past pain, past trauma, those wounds that are coming up for attention, suddenly we will have a connection. We will have this aha moment, this moment of genius that we can't unknow. Suddenly we see the connection of events. We see the connection of our thoughts and our feelings. And this will illuminate for us a shift within ourselves, in our mental plane, in our heart space, that will position us in our exterior realms to actually make a move, to make a change, to break free from what it is that's holding us back, what it is that's causing this pain, what it is that's keeping us in a state of paralysis, and liberating us, showing us a little bit of clarity on the path forward. Mercury goes ahead and sextiles Venus. Now, Mercury, as you know, ruler of the mental plane, does kind of, connect the dots with new information and details coming in. We get to sort things out, get a different perspective. We have some thoughts, we have some feelings, we want to express ourselves. And Mercury is in Gemini in its place of power. So, of course, this Gemini energy has us very divided. The Gemini energy wants us to look at 2 very extreme points of view, 2 extreme choices, 2 extreme decisions, 2 extreme paths, in order for us to find a happy medium in between these very 2 extremes, and that will become our new grounding point. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure, over here in Aries, is very aggressive. We are kind of seeing the strength of the dark feminine energy come out out and put their foot down and say, no, we're not having it. No, we're not messing around. This is what I want. This is what I am no longer willing to tolerate. This is what I am on the path to pursue. We're very aggressive. We have things to accomplish. We are tired of being blocked. We are tired of being challenged. We are tired of sitting in a state of paralysis because of past thoughts, emotions, and situations that are constantly rewinding, re-looping in our heads, bringing that trauma into the present moment. Venus, of course, in Aries now has no want, need, or desire to look back. We are only looking forward, and this is definitely triggering our inner spiritual warrior to come out to play, especially where relationships have been unfair, especially where we are kind of sorting through new worth, new values within ourselves. There is a no bullshit kind of attitude with Venus now in Aries, and we are definitely seeing that in our individual lives and on the greater, grander scale. So we have Mercury sextiling with Venus. Now, this is an aha moment of what it is that we have been sorting through in our mental planes, in our emotions. We are coming to some sort of different perspective, different kind of understanding on what it is that we need emotionally, what it is that we desire in our relationships, in our money matters, in our path and moving forward. Venus, of course, in Aries is highlighting our new passions and desires, and the line between passion and anger is very thin. So Mercury is almost, kind of reviewing certain things in our headspace, again, with the extreme polarized choice points and decisions and paths that are unfolding. And this is not only creating a aha moment within our headspace, but a full realization in our heart space as well, where it is that we haven't been fighting for ourselves, advocating for ourselves, going after what it is that we want. And even having this aha moment within ourselves may even position us in our external realm to speak on it. There is likely going to be some heartfelt conversations that are needed. And keep in mind, with Venus in Aries, we are blunt, we are straightforward, we are to the point. We really don't care if we're hurting your feelings at this point, because we've realized how much we've allowed our own feelings to be hurt by biting our tongue and keeping things to ourselves. This is a positive energy for a lot of clarity to take place within ourselves and in our personal relationships. The moon is going to go ahead and sextile the sun. This is another positive aspect, really kind of bridging the gap between the old and the new, between our emotions and our will, our determination. The moon, of course, in Cancer, very connected to the past, very gentle, very loving, very nurturing. There's a lot of inner child wounds coming up. And because we are very reflective and nostalgic on past situations, we are having this realization at this point with all these other aspects on what it is that we've outgrown, what it is that we just have to let go of, cut the cord with, in order to embody the new qualities and characteristics that the sun in Taurus is illuminating for us, because we have to get to work. We are running out of time in Taurus season to get to work, rolling up our sleeves, getting our hands dirty, building new foundations in our daily lives with routines, taking care of ourselves in our relationships, really fighting for what it is that we want, need, and desire, especially where the energy exchange has been unbalanced. And with our money matters, we are thinking long term right now, and the long term is kind of scary if we let our physical circumstances in the here and now dictate for us what it is that we are going to be aiming for. So this moon bumping into the sun is almost a realization on the here and now, the space in between the old and the new, what it is that we're letting go of, what it is that we're embodying. There's an aha moment realization that we are on the bridge between letting certain aspects of our life and ourselves go and reaching the other side of the bridge where new aspects and new elements, new realities await us. So this is a little bit of a aha moment, if you will. I know I say that often, but this aspect is a shift in our emotions, in our will and our determination, in realizing what it is that we've been overly connected to, keeping us away from the things that we are actually desiring. And we have to get to work building those elements and actually seeing the cornerstone foundation of those elements be manifest and brought to life while we're still in Taurus season. The moon is going to go ahead and trine Mars. Mars is in Pisces, very passive aggressive, very much stunted in taking action in our physical realms because we are waiting to be intuitively inspired, downloaded with a vision, with a dream. But here's the thing. This Pisces energy that Mars is in, this Cancer energy that the moon is in, they're both water signs. And one thing about water, yes, it's emotional, yes, it's intuitive, but it is the element that cleanses us from the old, from the heaviness, from the weight, and transforms us into the new elements of who it is that we need to be in order to get what it is that we want. So there is this element of a new inspiration taking over, a new passion, a new desire. Our inner realms are very, very lit up in our imagination, in our fantasy, in our dreamscape, because we are literally concocting the new reality that we want to be living in our inner realms so that we are sorting things out before we're actually positioned to take action in our physical realms to start mirroring some of the inner inspirations that we're being downloaded with. The moon is going to bump into Saturn, the Lord of Karma. Lucky for us, this is a positive aspect. Saturn is in Aquarius energy, trying to show us futuristically what it is that we want to be living in. And from that vision, we are supposed to be taking that great grand vision, that great grand dream, and kind of busting it up into smaller chunks so that we recognize that the gap from where it is that we're at to where it is that we want to be is a step-by-step linear process that we have to take. Now, this particular energy does highlight the roles and responsibilities that we currently have in life to ourselves, to our families, to our relationships, to our work matters, all the roles and responsibilities that we are currently committed to. Now, this is because the moon is in Cancer energy, I would say that the weight of the world right now, the roles and responsibilities that we're being illuminated to, has a lot more to do with the home and the family dynamic than outside of the home and the family dynamic. And a lot of that is because we are in a situation right now where things are rapidly changing. People are coming and going. There are, scripted divine events taking place right now that will have our home and our family dynamic looking totally different by the time we kind of get out of eclipse season especially, but retrograde season as well. And so the moon bumping into Saturn in this way is really going to have us processing our inner emotions about some of the roles, some of the responsibilities that are currently weighing on our shoulders, the ones that are technically sucking the life out of us, and where it is that we have to do some work in the here and now to start building that bridge that is going to get us from where it is that we're currently at to where it is that we want to be. And a lot of that comes down to recognizing where it is that we have to disconnect and create some space to certain roles and responsibilities that we're no longer in alignment with. The moon is going to semi-square Mercury. So this is our heart space versus our head space. And the semi-square is a little bit of a tension point. We're not quite on the same page. We're trying very hard to get on that same page. Again, Mercury being in Gemini energy is constantly about debating the polarized choices, the polarized decisions, the two very different paths and choices that we have in front of us right now. And our heart, of course, in Cancer energy doesn't really want to change anything because we would rather stick to what is old, tried, tested, and true, what is familiar, even if it's uncomfortable. And that is a problem at this point because there's so many aspects really asking us to get a grip, to boss up, to make the changes that are necessary in order for us to be actually in alignment with bringing forth this new reality that we desire to actually be living. The moon is going to sextile the true node. This is an awesome, awesome aspect for us because it means that we've been doing the work. We're sorting through the information. We're sorting through the emotions coming up. We are really kind of debating within ourselves, the heart and the head aspect that I just spoke about. The true node, of course, is our soul's destiny point. It wants us to get on the right path in order to actually bring our dreams, our visions to life. And so what I get out of this is that all the information that we're sorting through, we are definitely gaining a lot of clarity, a lot of perspective on what needs to change. And the change that needs to happen is actually creating a step-by-step process, a step-by-step plan for us. We might not have the whole plan written in stone yet, but we know that a baby step is still a step forward. And I feel like we are making some really good progress on what it is that we want to do from here. We are on the precipice of taking action and making some major transformations in our physical realm. And this particular aspect just kind of speaks volume that we are doing the inner work necessary in order to actually gain perspective on what it is that we need to do in our physical realms to take that step forward, gaining a little bit of distance towards what it is that we want for ourselves, and of course, creating a lot of distance in what it is that we're moving away from. The moon is going to bump into Saturn, though, the Lord of Karma, in not the most pleasant way. And let me just say, this is an activation point that will likely pop off in our external realms that will show us very clearly the roles and responsibilities, the foundation that we have in our lives that we've committed to that is not happy, that is not supporting us, that is not in alignment with our dreams. This is where negative Nancy comes out. It's almost like a situation pops off in our exterior realms and we're like, ugh, damn, I'd be so glad when I don't have to deal with this anymore. Pay attention to those kinds of thoughts and feelings. Wherever you feel held back, weighted down, restricted in life is what we need to be focusing on right now, freeing ourselves from. We need freedom. We need independence. We need to recognize where it is that the weight of the world is on our shoulders so that we can figure out a better process, a better way to deal with some of the roles and responsibilities in our life without having it suck the life force energy out of us. So we're likely going to have that high, gaining a little bit of perspective and clarity with the true node on what it is that we need to do moving forward. And then, of course, that dark force energy is going to move in, trying to talk fear into our plans, trying to keep us in a state of paralysis, and definitely illuminate for us in our exterior realm what it is that we are just freaking tired of. Lastly, we have the moon trining Neptune. This is a beautiful healing energy, and especially following the earlier situation of something popping off, that's really going to illuminate for us where it is we have to kind of switch things up and free ourselves from certain relationships and tasks and chores and roles and responsibilities. The moon trining Neptune in this way, who of course is in Piscean waters, a sister sign to the Cancer energy that the moon is currently in. This is healing. We're recognizing where it is that we have to create a change. That in itself is a healing energy. The Neptune energy is our higher self, so there's a lot of intuitive insight coming in. We are feeling very strong in our gut, in our heart space about something that we've just realized that we know to be true within ourselves, that we have to make true in our physical realms. And we are gaining a lot of vision, a lot of dreams, a lot of creative solutions to some of these problems with this Neptune energy. Neptune energy in this aspect, because it's a positive one, is going to show us where it is that we are doing the work, not only to heal our current physical circumstances, but this Cancer energy is kind of generational, if you will. So we are working, and again, if you're a light worker listening to me right now, which obviously you are, you're here to be the link in the chain that breaks the generational trauma of your family, of your bloodline. And the inner child work that comes up when the moon is in Cancer really does reflect our DNA, our lineage, the trauma that gets passed down in our blood. But may I remind you, we don't just inherit the bad, the trauma, the pain, and the suffering throughout our lineage. We also get downloaded with the healing abilities, the powers that our generation bloodline carries within them. So right now, I would say that we are doing some major work in our individual selves, healing our adult selves, healing our inner child, and therefore the ripple effect, the vibrations and frequencies that get kind of rippled out when you do a certain amount of healing within yourself affects every single person in your family tree, in your bloodline. And this is a time right now, especially where we are doing some very deep soul healing that is going to have a ripple effect and really clean up some of the past pain and trauma in our lineage.